Cold, really cold, and I'm road testing. Ooh, hang on, my drink bottle's leaking. Don't you hate that? Why is it leaking? Oh, because it's not done up properly. Okay, interesting. Sorry, there's gonna be a bit of wobbling going on. Hang on a sec. Look at my sneakers, my daggy old beach sneakers. I haven't screwed the lid on properly and it's leaking. Alright. And I've got it leaked onto my toe that you just got a shot of my daggy beach sneakers. Yeah, so it's cold. It was 3 degrees when I woke up this morning. Ruth, hello, gorgeous. 3 degrees Celsius when I woke up, and I went for a walk this morning. It was 4.7 degrees. Fuck, it was cold, but it's been sunny like this. It's been beautiful all day, but the maximum today was 13, and I don't think it's even that now. Like, we're heading into late afternoon, so it's going to start to get cold. Typical cooler climates, you know, around 4 o'clock is when you need to start putting on your cardi and turning your heating on. How are you doing, Ruth? But I just, I'm doing an assignment. I'm doing the last assignment for my course that I'm doing, my volunteering. I'll be volunteering as a tutor, an adult literacy and numeracy tutor for adult language literacy and numeracy tutoring. Hi Will, how you doing? Still sending out big vibes to you, Will. Everyone in the chat put up little footprints in the sand for Will. Will's family. Hi Lady Pegasus. Oh, it's so cold here too. It doesn't look it, but it is. But it's so stunning. And the walk I went for this morning, I was actually listening to the radio, and it was 4.7 degrees when I went for my walk this morning. But it has been the prettiest day. Like, just look at the sky. The sun is out. Thanks, Will. I'm looking forward to when we can get back into the library. And I mean, I had been volunteering at the library while I was doing this course. I was doing help desk for the computer banks. They've got, like, you know, 10 computers for the general public to use, and a lot of people who came in often had things like they wanted to open up an email account, or start up a Facebook page, or write an application for a job. In fact, probably one of my closest things to my dream jobs, just before I got ready to come out for my walk, an ad came up for what could be a perfect job for me, which is a bit exciting because I've been waiting for a job that'll pop up that ticks all the boxes, and it's part of it would be doing separate representation work for kids, which is what I've done in the past, which is essentially kids that are at risk of neglect, kids that are in vulnerable situations, family court matters. What the court does is it appoints a lawyer as a separate representative for the kids, so you get to take their instructions and represent them in the court or in mediation sessions or whatever's going on. And I did it years ago and I loved it so much. So yeah, I'm a bit excited that, you know, a job that I'd really love to do, and a job that will allow me to keep doing the other things that I do on the side, including volunteering. So very exciting for me. Serenity B, hey girl, gorgeous girl, how you doing? So yeah, lots of footprints in the sand for, oh, he's already told the story, cool. Yeah, let's walk and talk. Yeah, so Will's brother-in-law, like he's saying, has tested positive for COVID-19, so all the love for you there, Will. You know you'll always get lots of love here, mate. My emoji years ago, months ago, was meant to be footprints in the sand. I still really want to come up with the perfect name for my channel and keep it at that, with a focus on cooking. So, but if we go for like beach walks, we can always have like an ingredient of the day chat. Thanks, Lady Pegasus. It would be an awesome job. It's actually where my sister works, so I'm keen to see if she thinks it's worth me applying for it or not, but it just ticks so many boxes. I'd get to be using my law degree again, which I've been doing anyway, but in an area that's probably more altruistic. And I mean, look how gorgeous it is. It's such a beautiful day. I mean, very high tide, so we'll be skipping a bit to get out of the water, probably. But yeah, 13 degrees was our max today, Lady Pegasus, and I reckon it's been and gone. I think it's probably more like 10 or 11 now. I mean, to give you an idea, how do I do this? Where's the little button I need to... Here we go. Look at me. I'm road testing two things that are new to my wardrobe. First is this beautiful beanie. I'm wearing it slouch style at the moment, but you can also turn the brim up and wear it with a brim, and then the pom-poms stick straight up. And also my beautiful neighbour Jude makes snoods, and I got home today and Jude had dropped a snoodo, my new snood. So I thought, let's road test the winter woolies. I'm actually just going to turn the brim up. Hang on, you're going to have to look at the sky for a minute. Oh no, you're looking straight up. That's a good view for you guys. I'm going for the snugger beanie. So yeah, now I've got the brim folded up with the pom-pom on the top. So both Tasmanian products. I'll flick it around so you can... Tori's Groovy Cooking Telling Truth Peaceful Channel. That's a... How do we shorten that, Will? How do we shorten that? I'm still bummed, because really the channel name that I thought of the other day and then discovered there's so many other channels with the same name was Food for Thought, because then I thought, well, I can do cooking and then we can chat about things that are food for thought. So I don't know, maybe what about Tori's Food for Thought? Maybe if I just pop Tori at the front. Or Food for Thought with Tori. Tor's Food for Thought. Or FFT. Fucking fancy Tori. I don't know. Look gorgeous. Thanks, Serenity B. Tori's Food and Thought. Well, we might as if we go Food for Thought, we could just, it's just chucking my name in there somewhere maybe. Thanks, Serenity B. Can you tell blue's my favourite colour? I didn't try to match them either, because I wouldn't always wear them together. But I love icy blue, which is the colour of the beanie, and I love steel blue, which is the colour of the snood. But like in winter, I've got that really dark, almost black looking, but it's really like ink navy coat. And the thought of just having the steel blue snood or the beanie. I love wearing beanies to work. I wouldn't go into court with a beanie on, but I mean, have a look where I live, you know. Blue, if blue's your favourite colour, this is where you should live. Look at the surf today. And it's been like this all day, although this morning it was more like just big surf waves. And all that sort of sea mist that's starting to form, and, you know, the sun moving down in the sky. It's just, oh, I wasn't going to go live today, but I thought, oh, go for a walk. Someone will be around, and even if no one's around, I can just walk and film. What about Tori and the Groovers? That's actually... It's cool, although the problem is... I love that, actually, but... I mean, I did think years ago, well, not years ago, way back, I was going to do G'day Groovers as a channel name, but the problem, again, is it doesn't... Like, there is a reason I want it to be a bit food-focused. I do actually need a brand that is food focused, and it's to do with a little side hustle, and the side hustle, the name for that is The Little Dodgy Kitchen, because it's a play on where I live, but also it's just cute, I think. And it's still sort of kind of matching up with the Shitty Kitty Kitchen, but without a word like shitty that can't get used in business names. The weather's changing. Serenity Beach. It sounds like a band. Yeah, Tori and the Groovers. It does. Tori and the... Well, I'll save that one, Lady Pegasus. I'll shelve that one for when I have a band. Your surf at the entrance was like it yesterday, and I'm sure much rougher today. Yeah, it's just, I mean, the surf at the moment looks like my beanie. It's got the blue and then the white of the pom-pom. Grooving and cooking. Yeah, but then I've got to, I feel like I've got to dance while I'm cooking. It's so hard. I mean, right now with Tori works for while we're all in, well, it works anytime really, because it'll be like, what are you doing right now? What are you eating right now? But I've got this little business on the side, little food business, and yeah, it's called The Little Dodgy Kitchen, which is very local. It's a kind of local pun and reference, so... But I'd like to be doing even more cooking. I'm going to start doing a lot of little videos as well, like really short ones, just to teach even down to the basics, like how to poach an egg and stuff like that. Tori and the Groovers, or Tori and the Foodie Groovers. You'll dance when you mow your yard, Will. You could be Will the Rockin' Mower. But yeah, for some reason I feel like Food for Thought down that road gives me the freedom to go for beach walks still, and we can chat about other shit because it falls under the same heading. It's still food for thought, just not literally food. Because yeah, I sort of... And even like unboxings and stuff, like I just feel like I need a channel name where it's got food focus, but it also means I can go for a walk on the beach and chat with you groovers and not have people going, oh, there's no cooking going on. Aussie Outlaw, g'day motherfucker, how are ye? How you doing? I'm road testing my new snood and my beanie. I have already road tested my beanie once before, because even though it looks lush, and it really is lush, it's probably about 12 degrees right now, maybe 11. Also rocking the woolen thong. Jesus, no, yeah. I remember years and years ago, well, it was definitely years ago because I was a teenager, those bloody crocheted bikinis, that crocheted bikini trend. I got one, and it was really gorgeous when I was tanned, because I ended up just getting one in like a neutral sort of, like a macrame twine colour. You know, that sort of creamy colour. So when I had a tan, it looked amazing. But when it got wet, it sagged. And the bottoms would be sort of hanging halfway down my legs. But they didn't hold their shape. So, yeah. Great to sunbake in or just lie around a pool or down on the beach in, but shitty when wet. But I'm so desperately wanted one. Now that I'm thinking about it, I actually had two. I had another one which was navy blue, how you doing? Sky blue and white stripes, but only 3, so the bikini top only had 3 stripes, and the same with the bottoms, and it was navy. At the top it was white, and then sky blue, and then navy. But equally as floppy. Serenity B, yours fell off, never. Oh yes, I've lost bathers out here. Somewhere out there, there's a bikini top of mine, a rashie of mine. Don't ask about how I lost the rashie, that was weird. A freak accident. I got dumped badly and smacked the fuck out of my knee, and I actually pulled my rashie off to wrap it around my knee so I could get out of the surf, and in the process of doing that I lost it because I got dumped again. Join Tori and the Groovers for cooking and more. Lady Pegasus, that's too long. You're amazing though, you're coming up with some grime, and I'll write them all down when I get home. But yeah, it's got to be short. And that's why I keep going back to Tori's Food for Thought, because it covers the cooking, but if we're walking on the beach we can talk about shit, and that's food for thought too. Now I'm thinking of Serenity B's bathers falling off. God, the number of times I've been out in the surf and come up from a little either dumping or going through a wave or whatever, and I've just been chatting away to people, and then I look down and my bikini top's like completely askew. Everything's hanging out. It's a great look. Probably a greater look in my teens and my 20s. Not so great maybe in my 50s. I don't know. You didn't make it to Walmart. Oh, yeah. Well, that's understandable, Will. And look, you know, like you were saying to me today, your brother-in-law is young. They got it early. Well, you know, I don't know if that means... I mean, the only good thing, I suppose, about finding COVID-19 positives early is it stops it spreading to other people. But I'm glad you're okay now. And look, the beauty in a way, it sounds weird maybe, but the people that were getting tested, they were testing positive back in January and February, there was much less known about COVID-19 than there is now. So, you know, the treatments back then were sort of reactive, and in some respects not entirely successful. So they know a lot more about it now. So that's good too. And they're monitoring for other things too, you know. It's they're not just going, this is all about respiratory issues and that's it. You know, they're doing everything. They're testing blood and heartbeats and everything. So, And if he's home, I think being at home would be tough. I've watched a lot of videos of people who have recovered or are still testing positive like 60 days later. How you doing? And I think that would be hard. I think being at home, she didn't say hello back. Boo. Boo to her. Yeah, I think the hardest thing, but your brother-in-law's got your sister and son nearby, so, you know, hopefully it's not too traumatic. You're going to try making the chicken keto casserole? Yeah, recommend that. I'm having it for leftovers tonight. I don't have to cook tonight. I'm going to do some veggies and stuff to have with it. It was really yummy. And then on the weekend I'm going to make those, they're not keto, but the vegan Twix bars with the peanut butter, caramel, scrumptious chocolatey goodness. I'm going to make them. And then Monday I'll go back to full keto again. Your brother-in-law's at home resting. Sister and nephew all good. Oh, they're both physical therapists. Did they meet at work? I'm going to go just a bit further up. And then I'm going to turn around and walk back. The sun is really warm, even though the temperature's not. It's just the most glorious afternoon. And it's just that beautiful hour before it all goes right now. Which, don't get me wrong, I kind of like it when it gets to that time of the day that you're like, all right, close up all the windows, put the heating on, get ready to snuggle in for the night. You know, I quite like that time of the day too. But it's nice to get the last hour of... God, there's some good waves out there for boogie boarding. Yeah, so we're going to be making these... Twix is like a candy bar here, but it doesn't have peanut butter in it, I don't think. I think it's more like a caramel chocolatey thing, but anywho, they're these layered slicey things, and they've got like a an almond flour sort of base with lots of yummy stuff in it. Let's go back this way. And then the seaweed looks tasty. The stuff floating out there, yeah, well, that's one of the things too. Look at the colour, because the sun's out, shining through. Like, I love seaweed. Look at the colour of that kelp. Like, it's so beautiful. I don't know. Some people go, yuck, seaweed, gross, but I look at that and just think that's a work of art. The big blobs out there, but people, a lot of fancy restaurants in Australia, they go foraging for stuff like this and then do amazing amazing dishes. So, you know, we could go for a beach walk on Food for Thought, do some foraging, get some kelp, take it home and cook it. What do you reckon? The sun's divine, but it's smack bang in my face now, so... Kelp is yummy when it's cooked. If you know how to cook it, I don't yet. I need to study it. But I'd happily come down here and forage. That's a wanky word that was being thrown around a lot last year in Aussie restaurants. Our team get up early and forage on the beaches of northern New South Wales. You are currently eating grass extracted from that very sand dune. Foraged this morning by our dedicated team. Yeah, we got it. You foraged. Why are we paying $300 a head to eat shit you found on the beach? maybe do the right thing and charge less. Look at this, see, look how pretty. Look how pretty that is. The mixture of kelp and the green seaweed that you can eat as well. These electric throw rugs are so cozy and warm and cost next to nothing to run. I've been told that. I've got friends that have got the heated blankets. Is that what they're called? Or electric throw rugs. Yeah, I've got friends who swear by them. But the problem is, well, it's not a problem. If I was going to sit down and watch some Netflix, then I would be in one spot and that'd be great, but I'm just busy all the time. Maybe I need to get one so I'll just curl up in my big armchair Ruby. Although last night I did watch the documentary, goes for about 40 minutes, of the making of the last season of Schitt's Creek, and I sobbed like a baby through the whole thing. If you're into Schitt's Creek and you've watched the last season, go onto the trending now part of Netflix and you'll find a documentary about them making the last season, and I bawled in the last season. Antidepressant for the last 6 years has come to an end, but I have maybe even a week ago. Because it's great. Seahorses. And we haven't got heated blankets yet. A Sunbeam one, $80. You love Netflix when you're not working. Yeah, I do too. I think everyone does. Oh, I mean, not everyone loves Netflix, but you know what I mean. You can't watch it when you're working, is what I meant. I'm buffering, probably. Could be buffering because I'm on the beach. I mean, it blows my mind how good the reception is down here. I'll just check I'm not on my, Hey Angela, how you doing, beautiful? Yeah, no, I was just checking I wasn't on my household internet connection. But it's usually, the reception down here is normally awesome. Oh, actually, I've just got a thing saying the health of this stream is bad. YouTube's not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Viewers will experience buffering. Alright. That sucks. Hopefully it'll get better the closer I get back to the end of the beach. You have seahorses in the lake, Lady Pegasus. They're a protected species. Netflix, Soul Surfer, wonderful movie. Alright, I'll check that out. I'll check that out. Not buffering anymore. No, the thing's gone from my screen now too. That was really weird. Like, as soon as you said that, this thing just took up the whole screen saying your streaming's fucked and your viewers are going to get buffering because of it. But it was interesting that it said there's not enough video. What does that mean? Look at this pupper. How you doing? The sunlight. Oh, this is why I love autumn and spring, because photographers go nuts down here. I mean, you know, it's pretty all year round, but the light. Like, look straight ahead. Look at that as a photo with the sea mist and the reflections in the sand, and just autumn and spring. Yeah, the light is just so beautiful. It's just gorgeous and really cold, but it's worth it. Well, look out. I just reversed. You're always, well, you're always well and positive. See, look at you saying hi to everyone, giving out lots of love. So yeah, I've got a spring in my step because there's a job I really want to apply for. Using my law degree, but in an area where there's a lot more altruism and helping people, not just making big corporations richer. And although it's been a long time since I've done SEP rep work, which is separate representation, which is where the court appoints someone to represent the kids. It might be just a straightforward family law divorce kind of matter, or it might be way more serious, you know, where child protection's involved. It might involve kids being at risk of abuse or neglect, or kids already at risk, already being exposed to that, and the court appoints people to take instructions off the kids so you can give them a voice in what's been said in court or in mediation sessions. And the thing that's really funny about it is when I did it before the separate work, the legislation, the Family Law Act, said that you had to take instructions from your client for 30 minutes if you're a SEP rep. So I had a client one time who was 3 months old, and I just got to sit in this interview room with this 3-month-old baby who was so gorgeous and just hang out with her for half an hour and take her instructions, which I'm not fluent in baby, so but under the Act I had to spend that time with her as my client. Soul Surf is a true story. I got to meet the girl the movie's about. I don't want to spoil. Yeah, don't spoil the movie, Will, but I'm definitely going to check it out. I hope it's on Aussie Netflix. Someone, a really close friend of mine in America, was like, "Oh my God, are you loving this on Netflix?" And I was like, "No, haven't heard a word about it. I'll get onto it." And then did the search, and no, it's not on Aussie Netflix yet. Sounds like this job has your name on it, Tori. It sure does, Serenity Bee. It's so rewarding. I bet that was your best 30 minutes of work. It was. There might have been a stand-up comedy gig that went for 30 minutes that was pretty good too, but yeah. It was quite nice to get paid to hang out with kids. And some of these kids were just so cool. I mean, a lot of the time it's terribly sad, you know, if they are at risk of abuse or neglect. But when it's a marital split, it's kind of cool hearing what the kids think would work for them. And often that's what ends up being the arrangement. So... But I had my favourite kid that I represented was Indigenous, and he had 4 brothers and sisters that were all older than him, like he was the baby in the family, and he was always late for school. So the next thing, Child Protection Services got involved, and there was a girl obviously trying to impersonate some dude she's just broken up with or went on a date with or something. Anyway, so this kid was always late for school, and he gets dragged before the court along with his parents for him being at risk of abuse and neglect. Like child protection, one thing that was really good about being a SEP rep was also, back then, child protection services, they were called FACS. It was Family and Community Services, and sometimes they just picked on like Indigenous communities almost for the sake of it, for the fuck of it. And anyway, so Johnny was always late for school, and his parents they weren't charged, but they were investigated, and had to go to court. That fax took it that far. So the day comes along that it's time for us to go to court. So I have my half-hour appointment with Johnny first. And I said, Johnny, look, your mum and dad, there's some serious allegations being made about them because you're always late for school. What's going on? And he's like, I sleep in. And I was like, well, can't your brothers and sisters wake you up and tell you it's time to get ready to go to school? And he's like, no, and he told me why. And essentially in an Indigenous culture, everyone's responsible for themselves. If you have a responsibility, it's your responsibility. It's no one else's. So his brothers and sisters waking him up wasn't happening because he was essentially being taught that it was his responsibility, and so he had to be responsible. Anyway, I ended up buying him an alarm clock. But it got thrown out of court, thank God, because his parents were lovely. And they weren't doing anything wrong, and he was a really healthy, happy kid. The whole family was divine. But meanwhile, 500 metres up the road, there was a white family, both parents drug addicts. These little kids, that were grubby, dreadlocked hair. One of them actually had maggots in his nappy, I found out, which was horrible. But facts basically turned a blind eye to that. And those kids were at serious risk of neglect and abuse. They did eventually get taken off their parents and put in a foster home together, but so it was sort of rewarding too, not just for being able to give the kids a voice, but also kind of kept facts in check a little bit. Look at that, more kelp. Whoa. Put the reverse buttons on. Beep, beep, beep. There's one of my neighbours out there having his daily swim. He walked past yesterday and said, it's not getting any warmer out there. And I'm like, dude, you're amazing. I can't believe you are even still... Actually, he's having a boogie board. Usually he goes just for a swim in like his board shorts. Every single day. I kind of wish I had the balls to do that, but I just don't. I might end up being one of those grannies that goes for... I shouldn't point the camera on him. What are the grannies? The icebergs? Like, that swim every day, all year round? I hope I end up being one of them. I'm just a bit of a wuss at the moment. I don't want to swim. And the icebergs swim, just in bathers. They don't wear wetsuits. Just letting that jogger go past. Alright, I'm going to sit for 5 minutes, even though we're not meant to. And just see if anyone's got anything else they want to chat about before I head up the hill. I mean, the only other news other than that job coming up is I've got to finish my final assignment for my volunteering course. I'll flip this around. G'day groovers. It's a bit close, but I want to show off my woollies. I'm a qualified foster carer for Indigenous children for the Hunter and Central Coast regions. It is separate from docks and gets heaps more support. Cool. That's awesome, Lady Pegasus. How rewarding. I mean, look, I'm talking too about facts. Facts did this, like, I was just trying to give someone who's jogging some privacy, but I'm not actually pointing my camera at them anyway. This was in the mid-90s, so a lot of the things that were happening back then, they just wouldn't get away with it now. And my last serious relationship was with a guy in South Australia who worked for child protection as a social worker, and it's a very different kettle of fish now. I'm not saying it's that sort of stuff still doesn't happen, but I think they've come a long way. How the hell can people live with themselves knowing? I know, I kind of regret talking about maggots and that bit traumatized me for a long time, and now I've passed that on to you guys. Saltwater is good for the body. It sure is. It sure is. And don't get me wrong, like I said, I'd go out there in a wetsuit and little wetsuit boots at the moment, but this neighbour, yeah, he just goes for a swim in his board shorts every day, but he's in a wetsuit now with his little boogie board. You'd be terrible at that sort of job, an emotional wreck. Yeah, there's some elements to it that are really tough. It's not always great at all, but it's really rewarding too. And even just giving the children a voice in hearings about them and matters involving them makes you feel good, because they should have a say in it. You're going off to rest. Sweet dreams, Will. Let me know if you do make the keto, how it goes, the keto casserole, and have fun at Walmart. Anyway, I'm going to apply for the job. We'll see what happens. My hair's getting lovely and long. I washed it today, so it's, thank God. So it should be looking quite, no, it is getting very long again, and very grey, but that's okay. It does grow so fast. My hair is crazy. It's always been fast growing hair. This snood is so yummy. Handmade by my neighbour Jude. Isn't it beautiful? If anyone wants to get a snood for winter, I've got the seam, I think, right there. But if anyone wants a snood, Jude sends them all over Australia. And then this beanie is a little brand called Quirky, KWUIRKY. Also Tasmanian Girl, handmade, both handmade, lush, woolly goodness. But yeah, if you want, I'll put them in my, I'll put the links to both the Quirky beanies. See the little pom-pom? Super soft, and yeah, you can wear it two ways. You can have the brim up, or like at the start where I had it down and I actually had the pom-pom slouching at the back. And then the Jude snoods, they, you want to take them home? Yeah, I would too. And yeah, sometimes, especially when it's a kid that does need to go into urgent foster care, you're like, I'll take them home. I've got spare bedrooms. I've got a cat that'll keep them entertained. I've got boogie boards. We're at the beach. It is hard. It's almost, I suppose it's like fostering animals too. You want to keep them as well. Loving the blue colour. Yeah, they're cool, aren't they? They're not actually the same blue, but neither's this, you know. I'm a symphony of blue today. Although then I've got these DACs on. These are my leggings today. It's enough of that. Alright, Grievous, my bum's getting a bit wet. I'm going to head up the hill. Thank you so much for coming on the stroll with me. I'll keep pondering. None of you really liked my Tori's food for thought idea. But I'm thinking that's where I might be heading. Because it covers the food. Rustic Mockery, you've arrived and I'm about to say goodbye to everyone. Hang on. Hi, Rustic Mockery. Yeah, you guys didn't seem very keen on food for thought, but I just think it covers the food for thought as in conversation as well as the literal cooking thing. Serenity Bee, like Serenity Bee's my spirit animal today. Some of the other names were cool too, but it was more, I wanted to keep it broad enough to cover everything, like the cooking and like talking about my beanies. Even my shoes match. Good vibes. I was at an emoji. It's funny because on Streamlabs you don't get the emoji. It just gives you what it's called. So whatever good vibes is, I don't know what it would be. That's okay, Rustic Mockery. we're not meant to, I mean, no one's going to fine me for sitting on the beach, but I'm getting a wet ass right now. Tori's food and ponderings. But see, that's what, doesn't food for thought kind of cover that in even shorter? I don't know. I kind of like Tori's food for thought. Exactly, keep it simple. That's what I'm trying to do, Serenity Bee. And look, food for thought, when I thought of it the other night, I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. And then I went onto YouTube and typed in food for thought, and I'll have to do it again. If they're all channels that are under 100 subs, then I might just do it. But if there's like a food for thought channel that's got 47,000 subs, there's probably no point in me doing it. I mean, like, I'll include Tori or something. But yeah, my bum's getting really cold. So I'll give you one more look at the oceans. Thanks, Ruth. Well, I just feel like I can do my cooking. We can go for walks. We can have talks, because that's always food for thought. I can think of topics that are controversial and do lives where we can just absolutely go nuts fleshing out a topic. You know, I can take you guys to markets, and that all fits into the food thing, and food producing places, distilleries, all sorts of stuff. And then the food for thought, as in conversation topics and stuff, can be the other part of it. Tori makes it your own. I like it. Thank you. You guys are great. I do need to go back through this live though, because Lady Pegasus did put an idea in that I was thinking could even be in the description. There was something Lady Pegasus said earlier that I was like, that might be a really good subtitle. It's stunning, isn't it, Ruth? Like, but it's cold. It is cold, and I am sitting on damp sand, so I'm going to stand up and dry my bum. Distilleries, yeah, we've got some wicked ones down where I live. And I've been busting to take you guys on a distillery road trip for ages. I've got 3 distilleries I want to take you. Well, sorry, 2 distilleries and a winery. So we're going to go to Nonesuch Distillery, which is virtually on my back doorstep. Then a little bit further down the road, we're going to go to Brim Creek Winery. And then we're going to finish up at Hellfire Distillery. Hello, Papa. That's the plan anyway. Soggy Bottom. It's actually not too bad. I mean, it's a bit damp. Bit damp, bit cold, but that's all right. I'm going to go home and put on the heating and This is where I need one of Lady Pegasus's. Well, that was a good wave. That was huge. They never look as big from here, I've noticed, when I've played back lives. It's like, oh, the waves don't look that big. But there's some pretty decent wave action happening. Look at it. See that? This guy's, that's not my neighbour, by the way, the dude in the wetsuit. That's another guy. Yeah, Serenity Bee, yeah. Heaps of making hand sanitizers. My sister dropped me down a little goodie package on Mother's Day because it's always a bit of a shitty day for me, and it included some hand sanitizer from a friend of ours who's got a distillery and winery, and then this morning I saw there's a really gorgeous website of Tasmanian produce that started up during COVID-19. I mean, we've always been pretty good at supporting local industries, but a friend of mine's actually created this website, and we've got a distillery down here that made it into the World of Fame, Hall of Fame, and only 3, I think, distilleries out of Scotland and Ireland have ever made it into that Hall of Fame. Anyway, they're called Lark Distillery, and they were advertising their hand sanitizer. But yeah, heaps of our distilleries have been pumping out hand sanitizer like there's no tomorrow. They are the best ones to dive through, Lady Pegasus. I love diving through waves. Love it. I think a lot of people that are scared of surf beaches, if they knew that you just dive through a wave or you go up and over it. But a lot of people just sort of stand there and freak out, and then the wave, you know, breaks on their head and they freak out. There's quite a nice wave coming in right now, so I'm just going to stand here while we watch it. Not the close one, the one in the background. Look at that. And so beautiful with the sun on it. And that sea mist forming, and another awesome view. It is Rusty Mock. You missed the beach in Broome. Oh my God, were you in Broome? You do live in Broome, you lucky girl. Well, guy, I don't even know what rustic mockery you might be. You may not be gender specific. Yeah, going up and over is awesome as well. I love it. So invigorating. And it's actually a really good workout. Like, this summer wasn't very warm. So I didn't get a lot of days in the ocean, but, you know, I was so fit last summer because I was in the water every day. And it really is a good workout. All right. Going to watch this last one break, and then I'll start to head up through the dunes and switch off probably when I get to the Fairy Glen, when it goes really steep and I'll start to sound like a 90-year-old man with emphysema. You're a dude and a friend of Mel Mel's. Awesome sauce. I'm glad we've sorted that out, rustic mockery. Not that it bothers me. It was just presumptuous of me to refer to you as female. And I was wrong. You just never know. I love the dudes on the tubes, though. I've met some really good men on the YouTubes. I met heaps of amazing women too. But yeah, some of the men have just been rippers. And a bit like my Facebook group, the one for people that couldn't have kids or chose not to. Even though it's got chicks in the name, we do have some male members, because I started the group just for me and a handful of friends. But, you know, I had some male friends who found out that they wouldn't have children. And then a few others that decided they didn't want to. One had really bad depression and just thought it would be incredibly hard to parent a child. Funny enough, he's gone on to have a baby and he's the best dad ever. But the male perspectives in that group are so refreshing and great. Super supportive. I've got steam coming off, you know, when you breathe out. when we were kids, we used to pretend we were smoking, waiting for the bus, doing that. Oh, you can't see it, I just realised I'm poking the other way. Does your area become like an English village with the mist? It does a little bit, Serenity Bee. I'll have to, I'll go live from my deck one morning as the sun's coming up and the mist is down, because like you can see down into the valley from my deck. Well, it's not really a valley. I call it a valley. It's more like a gully. But yeah, it does. Lady Pegasus, we get some really huge waves here on the coast. Quite a few professional surfers come from here. Yeah, I think I know, well, I mean, I don't know them, but I know of them. I do follow surfers. I love watching surf footage, especially when the cameraman's actually out in the water. They're amazing. There's a brilliant surf photographer and videographer from I don't know where he was from originally, but he lived here for a while, and he used to go out and sit in the waves at Shipsterns Bluff and take footage. And I was like, fuck, you think the surfers are brave? They've got boards. John would be out there with his camera bouncing around in the surf. Amazing. Amazing. Alright, I've got through the Fairy Glen. I'll give you another sweeping view while I catch my breath. Isn't it pretty? That walk up is such a heart starter, but it feels great. I'm not doing the steam now. That was only happening in the Fairy Glen bit. Hang on. I like that view too, down on the bluff. So, I'm going to say goodbye, Groovers. Thanks for joining me. And it is breathtaking, isn't it? It's beautiful. I don't take this place for granted ever. Did you hear about the calf humpback whale? Yes, I did. I did. A friend of mine posted that they'd drop the fine. Bless him. Fucking rescuing the calf. And yeah, he was, what was it? It was for being too close to a whale or something, and so they were going to fine him. How you doing? It was incredible. But I'm so glad they let him off the fine. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for joining me. My glasses need a clean. I think I never know where to look with this. As far as my knitwear goes, the road test, I'm snug as a bug. I've got a slightly damp bottom. What did you say, Ruth? Soggy bottom. Yeah, for being too close. So thanks, Groovers. Have a really good night or day, wherever you are in the world, whatever you're up to. And I'll do a bit more research on food for thought. See you, lovely Angela. See you, lovely everybody. See you, Groovers. Take care.